Oh, no, that's it.
You got it?
Click the wrong button. But we'll wait a sec. That was scary. That was scary.
Sorry.
Leave it to me.
I shouldn't say that on.
Oh, who cares?
Camera.
Well, you know, I never know when we're going live, but in case we're live, good morning, everybody. We were having a thing because I clicked the wrong button and we thought we were dead in the water here. Well, good morning. Welcome back to Ribbon Candy Hooking. I am here on our first field trip today. I am with Naomi, and we are looking at your company.
Scooch over.
Yeah, scooch
Yep.
right in.
Yep.
Ravensgate Primitives.
Yep. That's
Beautiful.
me.
We are in her. I'm gonna dare to show it right now.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna dare to show her beautiful studio space, and you can see she's got tons. That's my head blocking most of the goodness, but she's got tons of rugs around. Oh, that's it.
Over here.
Yeah, look at over here. She's got a lot of work on the walls, a lot of her patterns, and we're gonna show some close up. But this is just a cool. Would you call this a she shed?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes it's called a bitch barn. Sorry. Oops.
Well, this is a perfect place to come and work.
Yes,
You also have a great studio inside the house.
I do. I have a lot of room.
So Naomi is super organized. Her company is like well going. You've got beautiful yarn everywhere. She's got tons of patterns in stock in the Etsy store. There's a link to the Etsy store in this video. And before we get going with stories and fun, let's see who's on. So Carol, I honestly cannot believe that this worked. Like bringing the computer, plugging it in, putting a password in, and it's actually I mean, does stuff ever work?
No. Let's not talk too much about it though. It'll jinx
No, exactly. Murphy will be like, oh, really? You want internet? Oh, Jennifer, thank you so much. Good morning. Good to see you. Carol, good to see you. Good morning. And Carol's doing something technologically very advanced too, driving through Denver and watching there. No, I don't think I could figure that out.
No.
Oh, man, Carol, I'm glad you're there. Oh, husband's driving, of course. Tara, good morning. Good to see you in cold Ontario. Good morning. How are you? Penny in sunny South Carolina. We're getting extremes. Nice. So nice. Love the field trip idea. Me too. It's starting, I'm not going to start, but it's starting to get a little bit better.
It is.
There's a lot of people vaccinated here. We're still super careful. We're both very, very careful. And
vaccinated, tested, you name it.
Exactly. So, we're starting to get to a place where we can go out and maybe do a little something. Carefully.
I think if we do it carefully and just be mindful of everybody else. That's
right. That's the thing is other people who aren't able to get vaccinated and, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Penny, Martha, good morning, Martha in Ontario.
Oops, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Martha and I have been going back and forth. We had such a great Zoom call yesterday. It was like a group Zoom call. And Martha has this astonishing collection of buttons from her mother. So we're talking about turning the buttons into circles so people could hook them as either chair pads. There's tons, Martha, right? It's like a crazy amount in the thousands.
That's wonderful.
But she's super knowledgeable about them, and she's done a lot of talks at libraries and stuff because they're different kinds, like different categories. So cool. So we've been going back and forth on that. It's such a cool collection. Robin, good morning in Wisconsin. It's cold. It's a little bit cold here today too.
A little chilly. We'd turn the heat on in here.
Yeah. I think we're getting just a little cold snap, but it's okay. It's this is such a weird time because it's Easter weekend. The kids have their school break this week, which I've never known those two things to coincide.
No, it's been a while since that's happened.
Right?
Yeah.
This is like during this time, and I remember this was the year also that was weird for the kids because it was the first year in years Halloween fell on a Friday.
Yes.
But nobody went trick-or-treating.
Yep.
That was like the awful punchline. I know. It's a weird year. Chrissy, good morning. Good to see you. Linda, happy Ribbon Candy Hooking time. Great to see you, Linda. I'm glad you're both there. Janice, it was great seeing you yesterday, and also Robin and Linda, a lot of the buddies in Zoom yesterday. It was just a great Zoom call, and one of the things that came up that I thought was like a really cool idea, like we're here doing this, and you have your awesome business going, but I want to spend time like doing videos and Zoom calls with people who don't necessarily have a business, but just like, what are you working on?
Right.
What have you done?
Like, that'd be wonderful.
Right? Like document people's work, whether you think you're awesome or not, or you've only hooked 5 rugs, that's enough to do like a short thing and say, these are my rugs and this is why I chose these designs. And That's so cool.
The only
isn't
time
it?
you ever hear about it is they put them on Facebook or Instagram and they'll say, this is why I did it.
Exactly, but not everybody's on Facebook.
Right.
Like
I
tons
know.
of people aren't on Facebook. So it'd be so good. Dave, you gave me that idea. Dave in Toronto said like, oh, he had some ideas of like favorite tools and favorite like go-to things.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, that's a cool idea, right? Because we all know different stuff.
Another thing is labels.
Yeah.
If I can tell any beginning or intermediate or rug hooker, I didn't label, and I sold a lot of my rugs in the beginning. I didn't sell patterns, I sold the rugs.
Yeah.
And I didn't label any of them.
Yeah.
And I really, really regret that
Yeah.
because now you go and buy these vintage rugs. Who did them? You
It's
know,
a
where did
huge
they
problem.
come from? It is. And you know, it doesn't have to be a fancy label. It doesn't have to be fancy, but put something on there that says.
That's a really
Yeah.
important tip.
Yeah.
And you know, I wonder if people didn't put labels on their stuff because, you know, there's this big break between artist and craftsperson.
Yep.
If they just thought like, what's the point? I'm not a fine artist. I'm not Leonardo da Vinci. I'm
Yeah.
not going to market.
No, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't know why people didn't for so long, but
Well, I think in the beginning it's because it was utilitarian. It was
Yeah.
to decorate their floors.
Yeah.
And when they fell apart, then they were done with them and they went into some burn pit or something, which kills me.
Stomach cramps.
Yeah.
That's probably the reason.
Yeah.
But that's one of Naomi's tips for the morning is make sure you label your rugs. Because you know, we all love history. If you're watching this channel, you love rug hooking history.
Yeah.
We don't have any rug hooking history if people don't label their rugs. Because in 200, 300 years, when we're still when we're all gone or we're frozen in time, like some weird vat of formaldehyde somewhere,
Yeah.
you're going to want your stuff to be labeled so people who are researching you and in this generation of rug hookers knows that it was your work, because your work is different than other people's work, whether you think it is or not.
Yeah.
Your work is different. You hook different. It's unique, and it deserves a label. So let's see, Linda, Janice, Kaz. Oh, Kaz, good morning. Great to see you. Great to see you. It was great to see you in Zoom yesterday. Sheila, good morning in Benton City, Washington. Great to see you. Great to talk to you yesterday on Zoom too. And Elaine, good morning in Naugatuck.
You know, right back there. Hi, Elaine.
Hi, Elaine. It's like if there was a
She's
window
right behind.
there.
If there was a window, we'd be able to see your house.
Oh, how funny. And Donna is on. Donna's in Canada too. Thank you for the grand time. I know that it was fun yesterday, Donna. It really was fun. I'll bring out over time some of the things we talk about during these Zoom calls, and I will start doing Zoom calls on Sunday nights so that other people can join in who have like a normal sort of structured work day. But a lot of good things came up in the Zoom call yesterday. It's a lot of spitballing, brainstorming, and it's so useful. So we'll bring all those ideas out later. It was a great session. We don't even mean to be smart, I don't think. We mean to fool around. But somebody will say something and it'll go, oh my God, that's such a brilliant idea. And then someone else will like build on it, you know?
Yep.
And then it's like, whoa, you know, it was all of that yesterday. We got like, it was unbelievable.
That's awesome.
It was amazing. All these like good brains working. Teresa, good morning, Teresa. Good morning, Doreen. Light snow in Newark, New York. Oh, interesting.
Keep it.
Yeah.
Sorry. Don't send it here.
You're right it's right at the end. Right at the end of the season. It's almost happy Easter time. Amber, good morning. Good to see you. Oh, Teresa, you missed Zoom. Well, you know what? There'll be another one next week, and there will always be them. So we can touch base next week. Pickety Stitch Life. You know, I know that I know your first name. I'm so sorry I'm not addressing you, but I'm very happy that you're there. Good evening. That's a clue. You're in England, is that right? No, that's not right, is it? Then it would be, we'll see. We'll see. And welcome. And Joy, good morning in Florida. Love coffee time. Me too. Jill, good morning. Jillian, great to see you. I'm glad you're back. Linda B, fabulous workspace. It is a great workspace, isn't it? It's super fun. It just shows you the possibility when you have something in your yard. And she's got, I'll show you in a minute, beautiful, like natural light all over the place.
This was the only modification for this.
Oh, you
particular
did that.
thing. No, we asked for that. This was,
see.
you know, they have just the regular, just their structures that they have, and that's the only those.
Let me show you.
Windows are the only
It's so
things that
cool.
I said.
You know, to have, there's obviously natural light behind Naomi, but
Yeah.
look at up there too. Lucy, it's the afternoon in the UK. Hi, Lucy, welcome. Okay, so let's see. Linda, Robin, I'd like to say hi to everybody. Nana, good to see you. She's in the San Francisco Bay Area. We're working on a project together too. Kara, good to see you. Oh, you're not late. We're just getting started. Wow, there's a lot of people on this morning.
I know.
Joan, good to see you. Happy April Fool's Day. She's right.
Yeah.
Happy April Fool's Day.
I try not to think about that. Having kids, you get a little
I
PTSD
have to
about
think
that whole thing.
Oh my God, right?
Yes.
Oh my God, I'm so scared they're going to do, because they're just at the age where they don't have much judgment.
Yeah.
I'm so scared they're going to pull a joke like my head is hanging on by a thread type joke, you know, like.
Wait till they're teenagers.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just going to warn you right now.
When I was driving over, I was trying to think of a joke I could do, but I couldn't think of it.
I don't, yeah.
I really need to plan my jokes in advance. Happy April Fool's Day, everybody. If you get a chance to make a horrible phone call to somebody and then say April Fool's, this is the only day of the year you can get away with that. So you might as well do it. And so Joan and Elaine, good morning, Elaine. Glad that you're there. Happy Thursday. And happy Thursday. It was great seeing you yesterday. Bongi as good evening, ladies from South Africa. Great to see you. Welcome. Wonderful. That's neat.
You are reaching everywhere.
There's a lot of people on from a lot of places. It's so cool. And Lucy's in the UK. Oh, Northwest England. Oh, I love that part. That my geography is so bad now, but I used to live in London for years when I was in the theater. But I always loved like Wales, Scotland, Ireland, going up north. I mean, it was just so rugged.
Trip.
That's your lottery
trip. That's my lottery trip.
Oh,
yeah.
So rugged and green. I remember somebody said once, like, because I used to travel to England all the time before I ended up going to school over there and moving over there.
Right.
But I remember somebody said, like, something like disparaging about it raining in England all the time, and I wanted to say, well, you haven't seen the Netherlands, but that aside, like, it's nothing. But I read, like, somebody wrote, like, if your idea of beauty isn't green, then you won't like England.
Right.
And it's a really good point, because it is like vast green patchworks of fields.
It's gorgeous.
I think that's the height of beauty.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, if you like deserts or sand or tropical whatever, then it's not your thing.
You can go elsewhere.
It's definitely my thing. Go elsewhere. Exactly. Leave all that great pubs and antiquing to us. We'll go to England. So Carol, hi in North Carolina. Great to see you, Cindy, in Arizona, where summer is here. Oh, it's starting up early, Cindy. Oh, I'm glad. Good to see you. Oh, did you see that? I just hit a button and now there we go. Kira, remember to like, thank you, Kira. Yeah, remember to like the show. It keeps things going. Thank you so much. Like, comment like you are. Subscribe. So let's get started. So we were sitting here talking about interesting things. Naomi was showing me some really cool books we're doing. Do you have this book? And which book do you like? And you took out two of the great Pearl McGowan books, right? Two of the classic. Or You Can Hook Rugs. This is the Dorothy Lawless. Yeah. But you have to show this. She took out this great find. This is why we were 1 minute late coming on. This is like a yard sale thing.
It was the Monroe Textile Sale, Monroe, Connecticut. Okay. They have it. They used to have it once a year, fundraising.
So good.
And you just go and it's just insane. Crazy. But I basically went through and anything rug hooking, I didn't even look at, just grabbed it and sorted it out later, and then this was in there and I was amazed.
Yeah, well, you're the right person to get it, so that's always good.
I hope so.
You know, look for these things. Things are changing again, right? Things are changing. Look for these kinds of events in your local area, because I know that the Thomas Darling House in, Woodbury?
Yes.
They had a yard sale kind of thing a couple of years ago, and they put out a ton of hook drugs. They were in awful condition, but I have them all. I mean, none of them are good, but it's just, when you're a rug hooker, it's so nice to have the things, because sometimes you can identify the pattern, sometimes you realize it's an original pattern. Yep. It's just for like $5 each, you know? Right. I mean, it would be atomizing in my hands.
You can repair them. I mean, there is a way to repair. It just takes time.
It depends on how invested you are in that pattern.
Right.
But I feel it's good for the right, it sounds so high horse, doesn't it? For the right people to snap them up.
No, but if it's your interest, if it's what you do and what you're interested in, then that's the right person.
Yeah, it's true. Because we end up like knowing more and learning more than the average person. We're the right people to pick them up. Oh, Carol, you're on. Good morning. Good to see you. Debbie says, hello from upstate New York. Chilly, but the daffodils are blooming. That's true. Yes. There's flowers coming up all over the place. Sheetha Simon, good afternoon from cloudy Hull, UK, not Hull, Mass. Great to see you. See, 12 o'clock, this is the first time the show's been on at 12. So I think it's different for different people. I'm very glad to see you. I know Hull, and one of my girlfriends, her name is Loveday. She's a British actress. She has a place in Hull that she's been trying to sell forever. It's the most gorgeous place. It's a little far of a commute for me now. But Hull is a beautiful, beautiful town. So much atmosphere, so much height variety and stuff. Doreen, heard on YouTube from Stitching with Julie's. Oh, you heard from them. Okay, yeah, I keep needing to watch her current videos because she's great. Amber, yes, books. Okay, so we were looking at this book. It's one of the Pearl McGowns, and it's The Lore and Lore of Hook Drugs. So we looked at this book for a week, and it was fantastic. But this is the bling. This is the prestige. Yeah. Wait till you see this. When you open the book, this person it's signed by Pearl McGowan, as so many of them are. But this person put in photos of the rugs that she hooked and said what room they're in. So like this one is called Bright Wings, and she says it's number 760. It's on page 44, and it's in the guest room. So she did this kind of stuff. Let me see if I can get them.
I know it's a little hard for the cameras to see.
But they're so cool. That one's Bright Wings in the guest room. You can see these are older photos. They've been fading. But, I mean, this is just such good info. Which one is this? That one's in the library. This one here. And she did some pillows that were in the basement. And she does it in other pages. Like, she just...
they're all the way through there. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, she's using it essentially as a scrapbook. So, I mean, this is just... What an interesting use of a book, right? She's got little bookmarkers and stuff in there, too. But to be able to use the end papers and stuff as a scrapbook, it makes a lot of sense. And the family still has these rugs.
That's my understanding. They didn't want... I called the Monroe Historical Society and asked if the family wanted this book back.
Yeah.
Because I kind of thought they might want it back. But they said they were fine. They had the rugs.
I guess that's the main thing. I mean, I would also want the book badly with the little handwriting. Kitchen Caprice, we've talked about that one quite a bit. So neat. Merry-go-round. I mean, there's some real neat ones. That was just a great find. It's like when you find a recipe book and you open it and their personal recipes are in the front pages or in the margins.
Love it.
Oh, it's the best.
I love it.
It's the best. I just want to say hi to Lur Pony Girl. Hello, I have many books that my mom had. I look forward to when we can be together in person. Me too. Me too.
Lovely.
We're getting there.
It's fun to see what other people have.
It is fun to see what other people have. Well, you know, it's like there are so many things that are rare and hard to find, and you don't even know that you don't have them because you don't see them. So it never hits the radar.
Yeah.
But it's fun to see what patterns other people have, and like this neat one from auction with the tulips.
I'll move out of the way.
Oh no. Right, let me see if I can get it. That one back there
is
quite.
A find.
Yeah, that was a good find on an online auction. Hannah, Ashley's cousin's there too. Hello, Hannah. Really cool. And you said that was hooked by a man, the tulips, right?
All of his. He was the rug hooker in the house.
Now, did he do that thing that we've talked about before where you put the pantyhose on the edge of the... Okay, see
this is exactly as they pulled it out of the house.
Now, what would you say about that? Is that taut enough to hook with when you put pantyhose on the side?
No, I don't think they teach it at all because everybody gets those gripper frames, right?
Yeah.
They're all so crazy about the gripper frames, but I mean, my large frame is an old quilt frame, and I like it because you can go wider and shorter with it. But I don't do this. I use clamps, those big clamps you can get at like Home Depot or whatever. Yeah. But I mean, I need to take it off because the stress that's on this thing makes me crazy.
Oh, really?
Well, look at how it's pulling the edge.
Oh yeah.
But you see that you see something here. Yeah. He sewed his binding on beforehand. Yeah. And with my bigger rugs, I didn't. And as I'm sewing it on by hand, at the end, I'm like, okay, I got to sew this on before. It's smart to do.
It's smart to do. It's one of those things, it is smart to do, but you don't always think of it.
You don't think of it. And the smaller rugs, I don't always put rug binding on. But yeah, this is, depending on the shape that it's in when I unroll it, which will maybe next week, then I'll decide if I'm going to redo it or not, or keep cooking it or not. Because this is smaller. These are smaller strips than I've ever done.
Okay, yeah, those look like 3s maybe.
Maybe, and you know what's funny is that when I was at Door, Impulse bought a 3-blade for my Fraser.
Okay,
it was weird.
Maybe it was foreshadowing.
Maybe
foreshadowing. This. I mean, the colors in that. What are those, orchids? I thought they were tulips, but they're more like orchids.
They look maybe orchids.
The colors are great. I mean, he's gone with like the red purples, the violets, the grapes. He's gone.
And you'll see he's got the pink.
Yeah. He's got like little concentric lines.
He's echoing the pattern as a whole, but he's got this, he's doing white or natural, and then he'll throw a pink line all the way through it. Yeah. And
It's fun. It's a good way to tackle all that open space in the background. You know,
I bet I'll be able
solid.
to see what pattern it is once I unroll it.
Yeah.
And
Oh, you
see
know
the
what? Then it's
edge.
going to be there. It'll be right under the bias, bias thing that
I don't think
nailed
it's
down.
I don't think it's here, but I'd be willing to bet that it's under there.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
That's a big thing, though. It's a great find. It's so cool to find this stuff. You know, these online auctions are so good. And they often, you wouldn't want to have that shipped, but they often ship things to you when you find something. Yeah. The patterns and stuff, because that auction had patterns too. You know, those kinds of things would not be crazy to ship, but you have to check first, because sometimes it is crazy.
She won't do it. Ship. No, she won't. And it's funny, because when I walked up, she goes, oh, there's lots of other stuff. And I said, if you find a bag of wool, these colors.
Oh my gosh. You need them to finish
Call
this
me.
piece.
Because she says, if you finish it, send me a picture. And I'm like, if you find the wool, let me know and I'll buy it.
That's the thing, is it's so hard. But you know, I think those pink lines in there are going to help you finish it if she doesn't find the wool. Because it breaks it up quite a bit. Yeah. And there's at least 2 colors of white already that I can see, right? Up top
absolutely.
It's lighter.
But how much of it's dirt? Because it wasn't covered.
It's true.
I hate saying dirt. I mean, we'll see more when it's unrolled.
Yeah.
We'll see more.
To be continued. Yeah, it's a cool thing.
I will put pictures up, but it's...
Oh, man. But let's look at some of your patterns.
Yes.
She's got some beautiful projects going.
I'll show you the kits.
Yeah. Let's look at some kits. And then let's look at your duck series.
Yes.
Again, Naomi's patterns are on Etsy, and the Etsy store is in the description to this.
This one is a fun one, and this one is right over here. I don't know if you want to...
Okay, I'll be able to move the camera.
I think most of them
this is so nice. Your kits come in a bag like this.
Yep.
How cool is that? All right, so this is Fractal Bird and Heart. Let me see if I can bring him in closer.
Not very good at naming conventions.
Well, it's very descriptive. Oh, hey, Judy. It's very descriptive, so colors are stunning, an absolute focal point. I agree. That frame is great. Oh, how nice it's on linen. Is that like, that's linen?
Yes.
Yeah, oh, that's real nice.
Yeah, that's real nice.
Yeah, that's real beautiful. So let me see if I can come around.
Here. I don't know if you can swing around that far, but it's over here.
Let's see. Ooh, let's see if I can swing.
I can get a hammer and take it off the wall.
Oh, I see it. It's that green one right there with the heart.
Right
there it is, right there.
She's
got so much stuff hanging up. It's amazing. I'm scared to do too much with the camera.
I can't.
Oh, don't do something crazy.
Well, I can take it off the wall.
But it's a gorgeous pattern. It's a gorgeous pattern. So you do a bunch of kits, huh?
I do, and this one actually...
And it comes with the nice strips and everything in it, like this.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's real nice.
The strips are labeled.
Oh, the strips are all
Where
labeled.
they go.
Okay, that's really precise.
Yeah.
That's really precise. Fractal Bird, heart inside. Okay, so the inside of the heart as opposed to the outline. Yeah. Very specific. That's really good. You put me to shame.
No.
That's really
too much time on my hands.
No, that's great.
These I don't have down here. I know I have them, but the same pattern.
Oh, the dragon's great. Somebody's remarking on the dragon.
That was my daughter drew that. So.
Oh, your daughter drew that.
She drew it for. I said I need a dragon. So she drew it, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hook it.
Oh my gosh, how funny! I'll show the dragon again. So here's another nice one: brown bird and a diamond. Oh, that is real pretty. Those look like little cottony puffs on the border. Isn't that nice?
Then you have it as a blackbird as well.
Oh, look at that! Isn't that nice? Oh, that's a totally different color scheme. That is so nice. Your kits look great, and they're just loaded. Let me peek it. Oh, this is very nice wool,
You
Naomi.
can pull the wool out of there. I'm a tight hooker, so you'll have more than enough wool if you buy a kit.
Come into focus. Yeah. It's nice to have extra wool, because I figure, you know, for a bit extra, number one, who cares? And number two, you know, you can save it for your stash afterward. If you know, when you get these beginners kits where this is not something Naomi does. Naomi's giving gorgeous, full, thick, lush wool. But when you get these beginners kits as a beginner, and it turns out to be braiding wool or something like that, and it's shredding as you go, and they give you enough to the half strip to finish, that's not a good way to get people started.
No, you don't have a beginner play chicken with their wool strips.
Exactly.
No, we could play chicken with the wool strips. It's okay. Perfect. Well, we play chicken knitting, right?
Yep. Yeah, you get one less skein because they cost like $40 each. Yeah.
So this was my big project I started last year, I think.
Yeah.
So this was the first one. And this is my swan. They're a 3x5, I think.
It's big. Let's go this way here. Isn't that gorgeous? And there's beautiful flowers in the border. Now, I love your background, right? When we see backgrounds like this, we talk about this kind of thing a lot. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful border. Now, this background, what would you call this? I mean, it's.
What do you mean, like going around?
Yeah.
I've heard it called echoing
Oh,
the
that's
design.
pretty. That's real pretty.
But I don't know who I heard that from.
Okay.
It was a rug hooker, but I don't know where I heard it from.
Well, you know, I think it might be like a signature thing that person says. I haven't heard that
It could
one
be.
yet. But it's a
be.
good way, you know, because we talk about this a lot in class. You've done a lot of swirling and stuff too.
Yes.
So that's really nice.
Because there's a lot of background.
Exactly.
There's a lot of background.
When you have this much open space, particularly for a beginner, a composition like this can be intimidating because there's a lot of open space in the back. But unlike the orchid rug we just looked at, he went around doing like concentric rings. You know, this is completely different. You've handled the background in a way where you're creating shapes and motion in the background. So completely different.
Take a Sharpie if you have one where you have a ton of background and you want to do this.
Yeah.
Just take a Sharpie and just make some swirls.
Yes.
You might turn around and say, I don't like any of the swirls.
Yep.
So hook over them.
So
you
true.
Don't care.
That's so true. You know, we say this in class all the time. Get in the habit, whether it's your own pattern or whether it's that people are saying it's beautiful. It's really beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Whether it's a commercial pattern, especially if it's a commercial pattern, get in the habit of getting out a Sharpie and just doing your own stuff. Like Naomi's saying, don't use red. No, I always say just use black because with black you're just sure, you know. Now, what's your feeling about like some people will only use the industrial Sharpies that used to be called the rub-a-dubs. Do you have feelings about that?
I use the ones just from Staples.
Yes,
they do run
too.
out faster than the industrial ones, but I find the industrial ones aren't as they tend to bleed.
Interesting. How rich and ironic is that? Because that's exactly what they're not supposed to do.
I find they do, but you have to realize that industrial, they're made to write on wood and to write on metal, and this is a soaks it in. This is the linen and stuff. So
true.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, nervous. That's a great point. Makes me nervous too. I just get the ones from Amazon or Staples.
Exactly.
Now this is another in your bird series.
Yep. This I did just back and forth. Right.
Oh, that's a great thing to point out. So you handled the sky differently instead of doing the sort of Van Gogh swirls, the echoes, you know, totally different background.
Up here, we did the swirls.
Is that you or me? Oh, you're kidding. Is my phone ringing? Just ignore.
Yeah, well, ignore. We can ignore it.
Forgot to do airplane mode. But yeah, this looks amazing when you do this. I mean, are these color changing strips?
No. Okay. No. Well, some of them might be slightly modeled, but no, they were all different color blues.
Wow. That's such a good effect, isn't it? That's such like a watercolory effect.
Yep.
And you did some Prati in the corners here. So in all four corners, you do beautiful Prati flowers and things like that you put into a bouquet and a jug. So pretty. Look how nice the border is. It's got like the sort of seagrass. Is that Prati? Yep, somebody picked up on that. Yeah. Jill said, is that Prati in the corners? Yeah, that's another gorgeous
It is, but I used my rug hook.
When
people say I've done the Prati classes and people prefer to have the tool.
Yeah.
If you are at home and you want to make a Prati flower, use your hook.
Absolutely, I agree. I've done videos using the hook because that's right. Use what you've got. People will sell you a tool for anything.
And if you want it, I have them. I'll sell them to you if that's what you want. But I have had people use needle nose pliers, clean ones. You get them from the garage. Make sure they're clean. Or just your hook.
I agree. You know, you work like a true rug hooker. You work with what you have.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, it is fun to go down the rabbit's hole of shopping and to get lots of different things, but you don't need a lot of the junk that they want to sell you.
Right.
Like with anything in life, you know, like the makeup counter. You know,
I
need six lotions and toners before you.
At 55,
don't put makeup.
No, 55, I get some Suave lotion, drink my collagen every morning, and I'm done. I don't even go there anymore.
You're better than me. I use like the Dove soap for like my face and everything. Oh man, but yeah, the point is they'll sell you anything, but you can't be a ding dong. You have to be smart about what you're spending money on. Nada says, I have started to keep and package a few strips of each color in a rug and label the package in case the strips come out in the future. That is such a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea. Yeah, so people can fix it without having to do dyeing and color matching. That's a really good idea. Yeah. That takes up no space, right? Just some Ziploc bags that say the name of the piece. That's brilliant. That is brilliant. That's a great tip. Hey, Heather, good to see you. All right, let's see. So you're getting comments. Your rugs are beautiful. Sheila says, could you repeat what you use to draw your patterns?
Oh, just a regular Sharpie. Mm-hmm. Just use a regular from Walmart, Amazon, any of those. Yeah. I don't think you probably can't see any of them on here. that's just so.
We have to show this.
Yeah, this is my in progress, but you can see. Here, he's upside down. My wood duck. But I mean, honestly, this is just a regular Sharpie. Just you can get the wide tip.
Yeah, the chisels.
Right. You can get the fine tip. So like.
But you can get the ultra fine, which you don't want.
Right. You don't want the ultra fine. It's too
like
fine. Right. Yeah. But if you get the fine, that's an easy way that if like when I did his eyes, I drew his eyes with the fine. Right. So when I traced over this, because I have a pattern, a paper pattern of this duck. Yeah. So when I put it on my light table, I traced it with the super fine, but then his body was done with the chisel edge or the wide tip.
Yeah. And if Beverly's on, I want to show you this checker top because we did a special a while ago about combining Mackenzie Child style, the super designery checkerboard stuff, combining that with like pearl gown patterns. Yes. That needed a bit of something.
Yes.
Yeah. And I just love to see the black and white checkerboard, partly because I grew up in the 80s. Yeah. Partly because it's a winner. It's a winner in any context. And then your color on the corners, the yellow and the purple, is just amazing.
I unintentionally, this was going to be 3 rugs and that's it. Yeah. And I realized I had done spring, summer, and fall. Yeah. So, fall of this year we'll be doing a winter something.
It's so nice to do a series. I mean, as a design idea, it's so nice to do a series. The seasons are unnatural. Right? Yes. Holidays are unnatural, but any kind of a series is so much fun to get into. Let's see. Yes, in a small Ziploc bag. Good. Chrissy says, Chrissy loved the sky and clouds of the one with the horizontal.
Thank you.
Yeah, really pretty. Ashley says it's so beautiful. Oh, good, Sheila. So, all right. So, do you want to show any of your other right pieces? Let me show the.
Yeah, the dragon.
Let me show the dragon. So your daughter drew the dragon.
Yep, she drew the dragon. I didn't tell her what kind. I didn't say a Game of Thrones dragon. I didn't say a kind fairy tale dragon. So she drew this. Yeah. So apparently she woke up and chose violence. Okay. And she drew but you know something? This stretched my hooking experience. Yeah. So just, I don't know, this may be a bad thing to say because you and I both do classes. I've never taken a rug hooking class. Yeah, that's right. I've never taken a wool dyeing. They've taken a wool dyeing class. YouTube and networking with people has been really the best thing for me.
It is the best thing, hanging out in person and doing stuff like that. And I get what you're saying with people being so spread out. It's so good for some people to take classes. But the best thing is always to learn it from your friend or from a family member or something like that.
But I think also you have to think about it with what we've been through this past year. There's some people that have realized that they like to be home, and they it's really peoply out there, and they
it's really peoply.
So when someone says, "Do I need to take a class?" I've had people order a pattern or a kit and say, I don't have anybody to take a class. Well, number one, if you order from me, you can call me anytime. We'll do a Zoom. Yeah, that's we'll do it. But number two is, here's some people on YouTube that I learned from. Yes. And things that I learned from. Yeah. And if you're comfortable doing that, like
it's a good way to learn.
That one behind you, or behind the camera there, that was one of my first pieces.
Okay, this one here, the light one.
And that was what is that? The album. Baltimore album quilt block. Oh, and so that won second place at the Bethlehem Fair that year. I don't remember what year it was. I was only beaten out by Swedish weaving.
Oh,
and
really?
She was from Naugatuck too.
Swedish, what's that? The Huck weaving or something?
I think
like
so.
That?
I'd never heard of it, but there were no other hooked rugs. We were the only two in this folk art needlework kind of a thing. Yeah. But this is a pattern that I went on. It was free. It was a free quilting pattern. So I said, okay, that's legitimate. I downloaded it, I enlarged it, and I did this. It's all number 8, so it's all 1/4-inch strips. Yeah. And I did the echoing along
that's
here.
The echoing.
This is the echoing where you just basically, and you kind of decide where you want to say, okay, I'm going to echo this flower let me go over and I'll start with this one. Yeah. And I think it flows nicely.
It's got beautiful, the colors are beautiful. You've got these kind of flat or dull, not meaning unexciting.
No, but primitive.
Versions, that are typical primitive colors because, if you're working in a primitive palette, which you don't have to just because you're doing a primitive rug, you don't have to work in a primitive palette. I mean, I'm working on some Magdalenas that are like electric colors. Right. But if you choose to, then you are looking at a palette that's more like sort of aged looking versions, flat looking versions of your primary colors. And that's a classic example because you've got like this super, not even dusty rose, even lighter, more like a Georgian clay type color. Yep. And then the browns, and then the background, instead of being a stark white, is like many colors of ivory and parchment.
And then those blues was something I learned when I was doing this. That's what I call them. I don't know if it's the exact definition, but a beauty line in a rug, where you have all of these muted, primitive kind of these colors, and then you've got this shot of color.
Interesting. Okay, so sometimes I've heard that referred to as the poison color.
Yes, that as well.
And also the beauty line.
Yeah, I've heard it called the poison color, a poison or beauty line.
Isn't that funny?
But it's just, I mean, honestly, when I pulled that blue, I'm like, putting it, when I stacked all the wool together before I cut it, I'm like, oh, I'm not so
let me show that. That's a really good point, because we talk about color a lot. So Naomi's saying, like, this blue line here is like so much brighter, and it's so much more of an intense value than the other colors.
These, and then I used it just here, but it's just in a couple of places. You don't want it everywhere, or it's going to take away.
It's going to take over.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I love poison as an expression, and I also love beauty line. That's a really smart way. Yeah, I like them both.
Yes, if you take classes online, if you watch YouTube, write things down of where you hear them from. Like, you won't be like me, and you won't remember where you heard it from.
Well, it's like, we were saying the other day on a different coffee time, we were saying there are so many words that apples and oranges, right? From region to region or person to person. And we were looking at a book from 1927, and she was talking about this. I keep talking about it because, Carol, I wonder if you have a resolution on this. It was such an interesting talk. She did a primitive pattern, a basket, quite like the one we were just looking at. And on the sides, it had a border. Yeah. Like, not much, like just, not much of a border. And on top and the bottom, even less of a border. And she called it a colonial porch pattern. Like, as if it was very literally flowers sitting on a porch.
I wonder if that, it sounds like a stencil. You've seen the old, from the colonial time stencils. I'm wondering, because that sounds like it could have been a stencil.
That's an interesting
on a porch
thought.
Or on... Because they painted rugs.
Yes.
A lot of their patterns came from stencils.
Interesting. Yeah. Carol.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not saying it is, but maybe.
It's a good twist, though. I didn't think of it. I thought, I like that. That makes sense. I just figured it might have been one of these things where people routinely said that to each other face to face.
Could be. Yeah.
And then somehow over the years, the language just shifted as it does.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Could be anything, but it's so fun chasing down these mysteries.
It is. That's why I say I really need to start writing down where I hear things from, because I like to at least give credit back to that person, say that I did not think of this myself.
It's true.
I heard this from
something so clever. You want to give credit back. Yeah. That is so funny. They are beautiful. They are super beautiful. Did you want to show us anything else?
I have some. Well, the pattern up here. I think you put this one up here on your
Oh,
thumbnail.
I did. Let's see.
So,
the that one there with the.
Yes.
Oh, so remember yesterday? Okay, no, Monday.
Monday.
That one's pretty far away. I can't zoom with this camera, but that one has that great sort of configuration, right? You just divide. You don't even need a pattern for this.
I didn't.
Okay, you didn't.
I didn't. I drew each flower as I came to the block. Like I don't. This one, I don't know what that is. It's a shape. That one up there,
stylized deco
not a
flower.
clue exactly.
Yeah.
But I knew I had to get rid of worms.
Yep.
So what I basically did was I measured out my squares, drew those on the grain. Don't forget that. But then I used it on my wool, my worms, and then came in and just as I came to each one, I drew a flower.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Something like a flower. This one has almost gone home with people, and I've kept track 4 times.
Oh, really?
4 times. It's almost gone. This one, and I have sold my springs. I don't know if you can see that one. The spring, summer, winter, fall.
Oh, it's a nice autumn one. Spring. Yep.
I've sold 12 patterns.
Okay, of that.
Of this, and I've yet to see anybody. But this has the crocheted edge.
Oh, how nice.
If you ever do the crocheted edges on them, that's super easy.
Okay. Oh, that's a good tip.
Super easy, and because you can use wider strips.
I love your Halloween one here. It's hard to get a good angle.
He's dreaming about Halloween.
Oh, he's dreaming about Halloween.
He's dreaming about
his
Halloween.
Little witch's hat, his pumpkin, and his candy corn. Great border on that too.
The quillies.
It's sort of zigzaggy.
Yeah. And then I've got little quillies.
Oh, there's quillies embedded. Oh my God, I wish I could get closer.
Bubbles. I'm
scared.
Take it down.
Can you?
I don't want you to wreck here. Hold on.
Let's see. Let's see if we can get you closer. See, this is the thing about field trips is everything's nailed to the wall. But that is so good. Quilly, for those of you that are total beginners, quilly is when you take a strip, right? It needs some height. It can't be a 3. I'd go for like, what would you say, an 8, Naomi?
8 would be the smallest, I think, that you would
Oh, you'd go
use.
even larger, so you might just cut something.
Yeah.
Okay. So you would
tear it.
Or tear it. So you would cut a strip, tear a strip, and then you roll it. Do you remember paper quilling from years ago? It was popular, where you make it into like a little spiral, right? Like a little cinnamon bun, and then you embed it. Do you embed it first before you hook around it?
Yes, I sew them. First you want to sew them together.
Yep.
And then you embed them, and then you just sew them onto. So if we go up, you can bring it.
Yep, I'll bring it close.
Yep.
So this is quilly in the corners. Let's get a good, yep, here we go. So let's see.
Yep.
These are quilly. So they're scrolled up. You see how they're wound up like little cinnamon buns.
And just sew like north, south, east, west.
Okay,
right?
so north, south, just side to side, just
yeah,
going shooting
couple
right
of
through.
Times, yep.
And then you attach it, just sewing it the same way to the backing.
I actually go all the way around. I do small running stitches all the way around.
All the way around.
Yeah.
All right. And then you hook around it. And it gives it a nice cushion, right? It gives it a lot of support on the sides. That is clever.
Have you seen the rugs that people have done with just quilly?
Yes, they're crazy. They're crazy.
Love 'em.
But it's fun, and it's just something different,
Right.
isn't it?
That's exactly what, yeah.
This is such a
Here's
nice
a
design.
Proddy thing, if anyone is interested. And I've sold, of course it's going to be tied to my Swift. So I've sold quite a few of these, and they're so much fun to make.
Ooh.
If you have any extra ribbon,
Ooh.
I found my mother had this ribbon when she sent it to me, and this was in her box.
Oh, really?
But they're curtain tie backs. They're floppy. You don't have to make them so floppy.
Oh my gosh.
So they're curtain tie backs. So you make your little
Oh,
flowers.
I see.
And then you
Oh,
have-
how
they can hold-
fun. So you do a Proddy flower.
Yep.
This is the kind that you showed me how to do, Heather, where you hook the center and
Yep.
then you Proddy the edges, and then on the back you sewed like a facing to the back. Like
Joel, look at my sewing. I don't sew well.
No, but it looks
No
great.
judging on the sewing.
It looks great, and then it goes on the curtain like this, right? How nice is that?
Yep.
That is really smart. What a great project. That is really
I mean, how many
smart.
Proddy flowers can you have sitting on a spool?
Oh, infinite. Infinite.
Well, I do. So
Yeah, exactly. You can have a whole garden sitting on a spool.
Yep, exactly.
Interesting. Joan says, I think it might. Okay, so Joan is talking about the porch pattern. She says, I think it might be a pattern appropriate for a porch rather than for a more of a hearth rug or a parlor
that
rug.
makes sense.
You know, that
does make
also
sense.
makes
That makes
sense.
sense. Yep.
That also makes sense. Sitting
Yep.
outside like a welcome basket, like a flower basket. That's a third very viable
Yep.
option, I think. Might be a pattern. That is really smart, Joan. Thank you for adding that. That's a really good thought. Super clever. So let me ask you before we stop. How did you get into rug hooking?
I fell in love with an antique rug at Brimfield.
Oh, of course. It's a big antique fair in this
huge.
part of the country.
It's huge. I've only been once. That was the one time, and had never heard of rug hooking before. And went online and like just researched it. What is it? You know, this is kind of a cool thing. Yeah. And of course, YouTube in the Google search starts popping up. So I had some burlap. I used it to tie up my tomatoes in the garden, and a crochet hook and an old wool skirt. And I cut it with the rotary cutter on a mat, and sat and watched YouTube videos. I'm not going to spend money on a craft. I used to, don't get me wrong. That was part of my thing, was buying all sorts of these crafts. I'm going to make them, and I either do one or don't do it at all.
That's a classic.
So I thought I'm not going to, so I basically hooked for the first year and a half with the rotary cutter, my crochet hook, and I did splurge on linen.
Okay.
I did splurge on linen because that was a lot of, they were saying is that the burlap is not going to last. Like, okay, well, I'm going to make something that I want to keep.
Yeah. So
I did one, and I realized I was going to keep doing it. My husband, all of his family's from Maine. Some of them might be on now, I don't know. But I was taking our daughter up to go hang out with her cousin, and was only a few miles from Searsport rug hooking when they were up there. Yeah. And saved my pennies. That's where I bought my first frame, a lap frame, and my cutter. And that was a lot of money. Yeah. It's a lot of money. But I mean, I knew after a year and a half that I was going to continue to do it. Yeah. And
it really is the way to do it. You know, this is one of these crafts that it's so prohibitive because everything about it is expensive. The cutter is expensive. You know, people will want to sell you like an $80 hook if they can. you know, all of these bits and pieces, and then you think, do I need more than one hook? How much wool do I need? It costs so much a yard, and then I need a lot of colors. So how's that going to work?
Yeah.
You know, it's what you did, the way you started is so smart.
We were poor, so
well, that's a great motivator.
We were poor, so
if
you want, yeah. But I mean, honestly, if I hadn't found the hook that I use now, which is just it's a not a it's a, I think a motion hook that a friend had picked up for me, and it's got the dog chewed on it. We got our puppy Jackson. You met Jackson, but that is one of my favorite hooks. I have multiple hooks that I have found. If you guys ever go to flea markets, tag sales, anything like that, if you're looking for hooks, go to the tools.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Go to
not
the
everybody
tools.
knows what they are, right?
Yeah, they don't. And so, and they're metal. It's metal and wood.
Yeah.
And you're gonna go and you're gonna see awls. Is that what they're called? Awls.
Yes. Yeah.
Little punches and stuff.
Yeah.
That's where you're gonna find them. If
that's
people don't know what they are, that's where you're going to find those hooks.
Yeah. That's a great tip.
But I don't and if you get old ones, they're kind of sharp at the end. Yes. I just have my husband grind it down a little bit.
That's a great idea, because if you do find, like I found two beautiful ones at a flea market last year, and they were like not the crook part, but the tip that pokes through the backing, super sharp, razor sharp. Yep. And you think, who cares? But like you end up touching it with your blind hand underneath, like 10,000 times, and on the 900th and 99th. It starts to really hurt.
And you're going to split your linen or your monk's cloth.
Yeah,
it's going to split it. So just if you know anybody with a wheel grinder, just have them just grind the edge just a little bit. You're not taking anything away from it, but you're also not going to stab yourself in the hand 1,000 times.
I wonder if you could use like a pumice stone or something like that.
I depend on what kind of metal it is.
Yeah,
the ones that I have are super. Maybe a
metal rasp. You know, people used to have the rasps and stuff.
But if you don't have a hook and you don't have access to a hook, if you have a crochet hook, I think everybody, even if you never crocheted, is going to have a crochet hook in their house. Yeah. I find the K worked really well.
The K. So
the
that's
Boyd,
a great
B-O-Y-E,
tip.
the K,
Boyd,
that's what
Susan
I use.
Boyd,
It might be a little big for some people, but honestly, I would never want anybody to not try it. And if they are really in love with it, make at least one something. It can be small. Use a crochet hook. What is it?
This is a great tip.
LeBlanc, she uses a latch hook.
Yeah.
I need to see her hook because I'm curious to see how she does it. I was going to take her class.
She got rid of the toggle, or she tapes up the toggle or something, because you can't have the toggle in the mix, or it'll be a huge player.
People have, look at her stuff.
It's amazingly fine.
Yes. Yeah. So, to me, if it's well, I can't afford the equipment. No, we'll go to Michael's or we'll go to a tag sale.
Make it work.
Come to my house and I have more crochet hooks that you can
imagine.
There you go.
You know, that's a great tip, because somebody actually did write this week on one of the YouTube videos and said, can I use a crochet hook? And, you know, I like your answer better than what I said back, because what I said back was there's a lot of crochet hooks that will work, that will work great. Like the one Naomi used first happened to work great. The typical problem with a crochet hook is it's not deep enough in the crook part to keep the thing when you pull it through.
Right.
And it's often not sharp enough on its head to go through the fabric easy. So you're kind of balancing the idea of it's great to at least get out of the gate and practice with a crochet hook. But alternately, if you have so much trouble and such a struggle with it that it puts you off the craft, you have to remember that you're using the wrong tool. So if it's such a struggle that you're like, Mom, I don't want to play this game no more, and you're just going to stop, just remember it is the wrong tool, but it is a good starting place.
And the motion hooks are only $10.
Exactly. I sell them in my shop.
I sell them in my shop too.
So we both sell the motion hooks.
Yes, we both.
They're the best.
They are.
They're the best.
I find that they are too short for my hand because I have quite large hands. So the other motion hook that I'm saying it's a motion hook. I could be incorrect. There's no name on it.
They were similar.
Yes, it looks like it, but it's bigger. Yeah. But some people don't like the bulb, but the ones with the bulb, so they'll use the pencil hooks. Yeah, you're getting into a bit of money there. But like you said, if it's something that you really love and you're struggling, but you really, really want to love it and you really, really want to do it, that's what I would spend I wouldn't spend it on a cutter. If you order wool from somebody, now I'm gonna say back. I speak for myself. If you order wool from me,
me too,
and you put a little note in Etsy that says, "Hey, can you cut this?" Yes, I've got these numbers. What number do you want? Typically, it's going to be an 8. I will cut it for you. It takes
I feel the
me
same way. It's
5
not a big
minutes.
deal. Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Other rug hookers, they will. They may charge you for it. I'm not going to be that. I don't want that much computer work. Just
Right.
sit there and put it on there.
Exactly.
Put in a note, and I put it in my descriptors. And if you want this cut, just let me know, and I'll cut it for you.
I think that's like really
5
nice.
minutes.
Exactly.
With the scissors.
I feel the same. We feel the same way about this. You want people to hook.
Yes.
Right. You want people to hook. You want people to enjoy it. If you run a business with the mentality that you want to squeeze blood from a stone,
right,
at every possible turn, you're going to turn people off,
right,
and then there's not going to be a lot of hookers.
Right.
Hookers, this isn't going to sound right. Multiply. Hookers multiply. So it's like
yes, they do.
They do. It's this mentality. Yes. You find it, you fall into it, and it's a super fun occupation. It's something you can be quiet doing. It's thoughtful. It's it's a nice, quiet, clean, easy, portable thing to do. But if people come out of the gate spending too much money or having a lot of frustration, or they have a lot of encounters with people who send them the wrong kind of wool in their kits or not enough stuff, it's just bad. It's bad for business. It's bad for everybody.
When I send wool out, when I send kits out, I have a little thank you thing, and I say, if you are having any problems with any of this wool, please reach out. My phone number's on there, my email's on there. Yeah. I don't have a website anymore, but my blog is on there, my Etsy shop. Reach out. I will send you more wool. Yeah. I'm not even going to question it.
Exactly, me too. I just
sent it. That tweed is not working. Yeah. Okay, this is a color, but it's not tweed. Yeah. Here you go.
Exactly. Because not everybody, especially beginners, they sometimes are not anticipating the trouble you can have with plaids and tweeds. Yep. But they're such a good gift when you hook them.
Yeah.
They look so good.
But I really try not to put them in the smaller ones because they are a pain. And I've hooked with rug braiding wool before. Yeah. I wouldn't put it in a kit.
I do too, but I would not put it in a kit either. I think it's setting somebody up for failure.
It is. Yeah. That's why we have Door.
Exactly. That's why we have Door. If you're a beginner, Door, DORR, really is the brand. It's very nice milled wool. There really isn't any other mill that does or stocks wool.
Heavens to Betsy wool is beautiful.
Okay. See, I haven't
her
used
wool is. I've bought a little bit
from
her. I think so. Okay. It's been a while, and I need to put in another order with her because her wool is.
Heavens to Betsy.
It's really good.
Okay. I'll have to check her out.
I just happened. We're closer to Door than that, so when I took my field trip to Door, which was wonderful, it was heaven. And now I have to order more white, so I have to actually call it in. Yeah. So, but yeah, Door, Heavens to Betsy. You can order from Searsport and stuff, but I think I don't know what mill they order from. Yeah. But you're typically Camp Wool. A lot of hers is Door, I think. Okay. But yeah, they're out there. If anybody's near, I'm in Naugatuck, Connecticut. If you're near, all you have to do is drop me a line. You can come out here. You can look at my wool. You can look at my kits.
Because you've got all your wool out in stock. I've got mine in boxes.
I did. I told you it took me a couple years to get to this point.
You're at a really good point. Oh, where's that piece that I got? I got to show you this piece. This is so nice. Because when I saw you at the fair in Woodstock, Connecticut, I went specifically to see you because I knew you would be there. It was a beautiful fair. It was the only thing that happened this past summer, and
they were very good.
They were very
how
careful.
They did that. Yeah. And it was by the book. Yeah. And there was only I think there were 3,000 people there, which is usually 3 times that. Yeah. Only one person wasn't wearing a mask. Everybody else.
I can't believe that one person wasn't wearing a mask, but
you know what?
But the numbers are good.
The numbers were great, and it was fine.
But you know what I didn't understand at that fair? Why can't I buy a damn hot dog? There's no food trucks.
There usually is.
I don't understand. You need to eat whether you have. I guess they didn't want people taking their masks off.
I think that's what it was.
Okay, I was so hungry. That's the only thing I have to say about that fair.
If you go again, their food trucks are amazing.
Food trucks are good, aren't they?
No, they are.
So we're from Connecticut, or we live in Connecticut when we obsess about food trucks.
We do.
We have food trucks.
The pizza and the food trucks.
All kinds of Eastern cuisine coming off food trucks, cotti rolls, and all kinds of craziness. Yep. Oh, it's so good.
It is.
But I bought this. I bought a nice pattern I bought a kit. I bought a pattern.
Pattern.
It was beautiful. And it's up there, that one, but I'll never get the camera over there, I don't think. Yeah. But I got a wool, and I started, I'm doing this whole... this is the kind of, Naomi does all kinds of solids, and do you do over dyeing and stuff?
I do.
Okay.
I do, but I also, here's some more of the painted.
Here, let me show you these.
Here's some more of the hand painted.
Wow. Wow. Uh-oh. That is so good.
So I call them, listen, don't judge my naming conventions, but
this is gorgeous.
This one was fun. These are fun. If you ever think about getting into dyeing, okay? Yeah. And you just want to play around, if anybody wants to, this is the most fun thing to do. You just take this, it's a fat quarter or quarter yard, lay it in one of those
Casserole dishes.
well, like like the serving things they have like at restaurants. The
Oh yeah.
the long metal things.
What's that called?
I can't think of it. But,
Right?
you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Those metal things. Yeah.
You put it in there. You mix up your dyes, and then you use just a regular paintbrush.
Okay.
But you put your citric acid or your vinegar into the dye mix in the jar, and then you just paint and have fun, and then you roll it up.
Super relaxing and amazing results.
And stick it in the oven for a little while.
Yeah.
Don't leave it. Don't walk out of the kitchen if it's in the oven.
Do you do like 320, 340 kind of thing?
Not even that high.
Not even that high.
No, it may be 280.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's low.
And it goes fast.
Yeah. So pretty.
This one, these are all similar.
Oh, wow.
I mean, this one has, if you don't let your dye dissolve.
Oh, it has breaking.
See the red spots?
Yeah, no, I love breaking.
But you know what? It's all over, so I'm just going to go with it. It's part of the dye.
I absolutely love breaking. You don't get this with natural dyes, of course. You only get it with chemical dyes.
Exactly. I use Cushing citric acid.
Yep.
So but you've got purple. You figure that the front and the back, you're going to get such a great...
Wow, it's absolutely gorgeous. Oh, you're going to get gorgeous strips.
Yeah.
And Cindy just said, remember, Easter egg dyes are great on wool. And super cheap, especially after Easter, right? Hey, do what makes sense. I'm going to get some Easter egg dyes.
Do whatever. Yeah, do whatever. I have enough citric acid to last me till this
house
one is
home.
Fun, yes.
Yeah, that's a real pretty green. That's like a nice forest floor kind of a thing.
But these are fun. You don't have to do, I've got these and the ones that are over here. I've got your solid dyes. And they're great. And I've over-dyed, some of them are over-dyed this one.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them, I haven't over-dyed with this one yet, but I went in there, was going to get 5 yards. I bought a whole bolt.
Well,
I'm going to put it up I'm going to wash it and put it up regular. This one is a good one to over-dye.
That's a great one.
This one is a wonderful one to over-dye.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
This is fun. This one gives it texture.
It's nice. It's a little bit nubby. It's got good texture. Yep. Those are beautiful ones to over-dye.
Yeah.
So Naomi's basically saying, if you're a beginner, these lighter plaids and houndstooths and checks, that kind of thing, you can over-dye them in crazy colors like this or colors like that.
Yeah, you can.
And then you get that beautiful pattern too.
And some of it comes through and some of it does. It's just a really, like this is a real modeled, it's similar to that gray.
So this is an over-dye.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's look at that.
Very modeled.
Isn't that gorgeous?
I didn't mix it, and it's a half yard.
That's gorgeous.
That's pushing the limits of my pots, is a half yard.
Yeah. Now, would you use the size you mean?
The size of a half yard in those, I use regular, just the white enamel pots.
Yeah.
A half yard is pushing it, and typically it's going to come out modeled.
Yes. Because you can't agitate it constantly if it's crowded, right? You can't agitate the wool enough if it's crowded in the pot.
Well, there's a woman that sells, I'm on TikTok. I know, it's awful. But anyway.
It's awful, but it's fair.
It is fun. But there is fiber people on there, and there's a woman on there that she does these beautiful yarns. And she bought they're industrial, like, cookers.
Yeah.
And they stand on their own, and I'm getting two. Because I'm going to start dyeing outside.
Oh, that's a great idea in this weather. And listen,
it holds more.
Chafing dish. A bunch of people said chafing dish.
That's brilliant.
They're so smart.
They don't make crock pots big enough. I would say crock pot, but they don't make them big enough. I need something bigger, so the chafing dish is perfect.
That's really perfect.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, Sheetha said from England, because of course it would be a major shipping thing, she said, do you do PDF downloads?
Yes, when I figure out how to do it.
Okay. Okay, absolutely. I can give you help with that.
Oh, really? Because I can't. I draw all mine on big pieces of paper, so I know how to get it into the computer. I take it to Staples or whatever, and they have the big scanners, right? Yeah. But it's getting it into the PDF to download. I'm not versed in that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean. I can help you with that. Yeah, that's
awesome.
an easy one.
So yes.
So yes. So just give her a couple days, and then that it's a huge yes. And Karen says Betsy's is in New York.
Is she?
It's really far up, isn't it? I remember she had a Halloween thing, and I was doing the time, and it was a lot.
Yes, it was. I think it's kind of Old Tattered Flag is also far up there.
Okay.
So I think that's one of those ones where it's like an overnight field trip.
Well, that's okay. I love staying in crappy motels.
Same.
I love them.
I have my bed bug spray from when I traveled for work.
Do you really?
So I do.
Oh, you're just like Monk.
I went. Let me tell you. You travel for work for 8 years. Guarantee you I have that spray. Oh, here's one more. I don't know. We're probably running out of time. I don't.
Oh, we're fine. We'll look at it. Oh, that's real pretty. That's real pretty.
This is Prim Fireworks.
Prim Fireworks. No, that's a great name. That's a great name.
Oh, okay. Another way to dye. The same dishes.
Yep.
No, cancel that. Roll out Reynolds wrap.
Yep.
Lay this on it.
Yep.
Right? Do your spot dyes. And then roll it up.
Now, when you say do your spot dyes, do you pour? Do you squirt?
I do. I have a squirt. I have squirt bottles.
So like hairdresser squirt bottle?
Yes.
Okay,
yep.
so like the hairdresser squirt
bottle.
bottle.
Put your citric acid in the dye in the squirt bottle.
In the squirt bottle, yep.
And you do all of you do whatever colors you want, and then you roll it up in the Reynolds wrap, right? The tinfoil.
Yep.
Put it in those chafing, whatever those pans are called, and do the same thing in the oven. It's like 280, and it's not long, honestly. Don't walk away from it. If you do it in the oven, don't walk away from it.
Just a few minutes.
Right, and you'll see water will come seeping. It'll be clear. But all of these lines are from the tinfoil when it wrapped around it.
You know, that is really cool. It does give it a pattern. I'm wondering if equally, you wouldn't get those lines, like it looks almost like veins.
Yeah.
I wonder if equally you could roll it in saran wrap and put it in the microwave.
I don't see why not.
Exactly,
you wouldn't get the lines, but you would still
wouldn't get the lines,
heat.
But you'd still get that sort of
That's what they do
color
for
change.
tie-dyeing.
Put it in the microwave?
I've seen tie-dyers where they will wrap it in Reynolds wrap.
Interesting.
And they stick it in the microwave.
Interesting. Okay.
So yeah, but I liked the lines that it did.
Reynolds wrap in the microwave?
Not Reynolds wrap.
Okay, saran
wrap.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm glad you corrected me.
Oh my gosh, don't do it.
Sorry, don't do that. No, don't do that. Yeah, saran wrap in the for tie dyeing. I'm almost 100%.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. And Kira says that wool, it's like a candy shop. And Jen says she's got to run live show. We're doing an extra long show today. We're gonna cut. We're gonna cut it in a minute. We just ordered some plum from your Etsy store.
Oh yay!
Oh, that's great, Jennifer. You're gonna love it. Is that plum?
I don't remember.
Or that might be plum.
Hold on. Let's look up. Let's find.
How fun, Jennifer. We'll catch you later.
That's petunia.
You're gonna love your plum.
Here's plum.
Oh, that was petunia, and that's plum. That is a
very
good color.
This is with the glitter.
Oh, that's some of them have the glitter. That's the glitter door. That is so hard to get. I got mine from you. My glitter door, and there's like no more on earth.
Silver.
Stop it.
Full bolt.
Stop it.
It was on their floor. I came out. I looked at it and I went, "This is the silver glitter," and she says, "Yeah," and I said, "You said it's sold out on your website," and she goes, "Yeah, we have trouble keeping it." I said, "Can I have this?"
Yeah.
And she says, "If you pay for it," and I'm like,
"Oh my God,
put this on the counter."
Your hands must have been shaking.
So I was, because I wasn't expecting to
see. That's why it's so good. Not everybody can go to door, but that's why it's so good.
And I won't go there all the time. This was a one. You know what I mean? It was like, okay, we're gonna go.
Yeah, I mean, if you're anywhere, doors in like southern New Hampshire, if you're anywhere near there, it's so good to go for reasons like things are on the floor that show is being sold out, and also, you know, if you're not running a business, they have like barrels of wool that's just a little bit dirty. Like there's a speck of dirt on it, so they can't sell it, so they rip it off, and they're quite large pieces. Yep. And I mean, my God, it's like I can cut that speck out with my cutter if I need to. Yeah. But the rest of it's good.
But you're going to wash it anyway.
Exactly.
You're going to wash that wool.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, I mean, as soon as you, it's not a big deal. So there's a bunch of things that they sell there. And then like remnant bags of things, like you can get, they'll have like a bunch of backing, like linen backing, none of them huge pieces, but kind of grab bags. And if you think like, oh, I'm going to make some chair pads or I'm going to make something fairly small, you want that. Yeah. You want that. So, yeah, if you're anywhere near there, it's a great road trip. What would you say is another great road trip? Have you been up to Cushing?
No, I have not. I've been to Camp Wool. Camp Wool is a good road trip.
Yeah, somebody just said Camp Wool.
Yeah, and I think she actually moved from where she was last time. Yeah. And I have to tell my very sweet husband, last time we went to Maine, this is before she moved, we're going up, and I wasn't thinking, to stop. We're going to see family. And he says, "Oh, do you want to stop at that place?" And I'm like, "I don't know what place you're talking about." I was hooking, and he remembered and he pulled off and he says, "You can stop," because there was a coffee place that he likes. Oh, but good association. It was closed. But the coffee place was closed. Yeah, coffee place was closed, but Camp Wool was open. I love that place because it's got antiques, and you walk in and it's all antique stuff. It's stunning, and then you just go through and it's just patterns and thread and wool farther than you can look, and then when you get in the back, her rugs that she has by there are human. I think I may not have understood. I think all of hers are hand torn strips. Okay. So they're wider. Oh, how cool. Rugs are huge and they're stunning. So yeah, Camp Wool is a good road
outing
trip
in this part of the country.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. Field trip to Door and field trip to Camp Wool.
Yeah.
Cushing. Yeah, Cushing is in Wells, Maine.
I think it's
Oh, it's
right
pick up
beyond
only.
it.
Okay.
Because someone said to me, "Oh, why did you go to Cushing?" And I'm like, well, "Where is it?" And it's right beyond there.
Yeah.
And we go usually to Plymouth.
Okay. Yeah.
So you pass right by it. So yeah, I have to start marking down where all of these places are.
Yeah,
so we can
putting
stop.
up a map with pins and
Yeah.
all the different stops. It's
Yeah.
it's getting to be hard to remember them all.
Which is good.
Which is good.
Yes,
Which is good.
It's very good.
Oh, nice. Great. Amola Chance, my first time here. Oh, I hope you're having fun. This has been a great episode. Naomi, you were so, like we always say, some people are so forthcoming with information and other people sit on their trade secrets like buzzards and, with no thought of like being helpful, for other people. And, we all know different things and it's so good to share all of those things because at the end of the day, we're all going to work the designs that we like, design the things that we like, hook in the style that we like, and we're all going to do unique work anyway, so who cares if you tell other people your great secrets, which you just did a lot of.
Listen, they're not. I learned them from somebody. I don't see them as secrets. I learned them from somebody.
You just told a lot of things that someone else would not tell.
Well,
they would do like the lip zipper.
I want people to rug hook.
Yeah.
I would be very sad if this,
totally
if this art went away.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, knitting was going away until was it Julia Roberts or somebody was caught knitting. I'm like, we need somebody famous.
Yeah, to start hooking
to sit on like a movie set and be hooking a rug. Yeah. If anybody knows anybody famous, I'll give them a kit for free. We just need paparazzi shots.
That's right. We need. We've been trying to think of ideas too, and more on that in another episode. Of generating more visibility for rug hooking.
Yes.
Because even my brother-in-law the other night when I was over there, because he's seen me rug hook, and he I guess forgot watching me do it, but he said like, well, what is it? Like, is it like, because they have a piece of macrame on the wall.
Yes.
And he said, it's like that, isn't it? And I said, it's nothing like that. Like macrame is more akin to weaving. It's very limited.
Right.
But rug hooking is basically the same as any art. You're using for your medium wool.
Yes.
Instead of paint, for example. But you still have infinite design and color choices, using a different medium. And I think if people only understood that it wasn't about making this vast rug for some Gilded Age mansion, that it was actually about making artwork and using fabric as a medium.
But I think it's hard to, I've never identified as an artist. I grew, growing up, it was not my thing. It wasn't like people said, oh, you're not an artist. It just wasn't an interest. Yeah. And Susan Feller was very funny when I said, well, I'm not really an artist. And you're an artist. But I draw like a kindergartner. If you see any of my drawings up here, minus the dragon who was drawn by a drawing artist, our daughter. But you take that outline and you bring your wool in. Don't get hung up on values and the matching of colors and the this and the that. I've always found if you just go with the colors you love. Yeah. If you go and you say, I love these 4 colors right here, don't care if they clash or they match. If you love them, use them in your rug.
Absolutely.
Just use them. I've never will understand. I mean, I started primitive and I still do a lot of primitive because that's how I draw. Mm-hmm. I draw like a kindergartner.
It suits it and you like the style.
But I'm trying to branch out more now. I want to do different things. Yeah. But that's okay. Yeah. You don't have to stick with what you start with.
Right. I so agree with that. That what you just said about color reminds me of. Do you remember in the 80s there was this like there's this movement that was like parallel to Avon and it was called Color Me Beautiful.
Yes.
And what they wanted you to do was
were you a fall?
Yeah, that's right. It was like a seasonal thing. And they wanted to come into your house and in your face and tell you what colors you should wear
because you were a season
and if you weren't a fall then you wouldn't be wearing like the nice warm colors or like the olive eyeliner. It would be dictated to you like wrong this is try again bark collar no olive green for you. And I just thought, even as a child, this is ridiculous. Like, this is insane.
I know.
This is somebody putting some construction of like their money-making business over like people's lives. This is insane.
That's the point, though. That's the point.
It is. It's a money-making thing. Yeah.
And I just, yes, I have a business. Yes, I need to make money. I don't need to make billions of dollars. Yeah. My whole point. I didn't start this to start a business. Yeah. I started this because I really fell in love with the art itself. Yeah. But I'll make enough. As my husband said when the pandemic started, I was like freaking out. All my shows, he's like, "What? you support your business. Your business supports you hooking more rugs. And I went, that's what I'm panicked about. I can't, you know. So, but yeah, I mean, yes, I want a successful business, but I'm not going to be successful unless people are out there hooking.
That's right.
So not being proactive and getting out there and saying, listen, this is what you can do. Going to fiber festivals, I've had little kids stand there and watch. It's like, all right, come sit down. And I always have a piece that someone can sit there and play with. And kids are wonderful with it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, always do.
It's so tactile.
It is.
And you get such an instant result.
And they don't have any constructs around what they can and can't do.
Yeah. They're not worried about values.
Oh, there was one little girl. She fell in love with it. I sent her home with the hook, and I sent her home with a piece of linen and a hoop and a big. I had a bunch of worms, a big handful. Her mom's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "In 10 years, I want to see her rugs at a museum." Yeah. But that's. I mean, it's important.
It is.
It's important.
It's important. It's important to keep it going.
Yeah.
And it's it's so good to share info. I am in autumn, but I do stick with the colors.
See,
I'm a fall. See, everybody remembers what they are. That is so funny. I think we're all traumatized by that
think so.
By that whole system.
We have Color Me Beautiful PTSD.
Oh,
I think
God,
we need a therapy
we need like
group.
a support group. Yeah. Oh, funny. Well, I've colored my hair so many times. I think I was like in autumn, and now I'm like more like.
I was gonna say, when you look at your color, your hair, it's like, wait a minute. I'm just gonna color it different. My hair at one point was purple, blue, and green. About 4 years ago.
What
season was that? The carnival season, apparently.
Totally. Oh my God, that is so funny. Oh. Okay, so Genesis, I love this. This is how I've learned to rug hook. YouTube, internet books.
Yep, perfect.
Yeah, exactly. It is perfect. Naomi, thanks for all your tips and ideas. Oh, somebody's saying that too. I'm a summer, Cindy says. Those demos help me to understand. Yeah, so well, it sounds like everybody really enjoyed this video.
Good.
I really enjoyed this video. It was super fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
It's super fun. It's fun coming out and seeing some different things. It's fun chatting. And this book is going to haunt my dreams with these pictures.
She's...
you every time you go, whether you when you go to a bookstore, whether you have the Pearl gowns or any of the rug hooking books or not, just open them in case they did this, right? Because I mean it's worth getting this book.
I can't see it not being a thing, honestly. Yeah. I don't. I mean,
it makes a lot of sense. They have a lot of support and they're in the right place.
Yeah.
And she's referencing the pages, that she saw them on. She must have seen them and then ordered them or something.
She must have. But it was here in Connecticut, so I'm wondering if was that New York?
No, that was Massachusetts because she sold.
Massachusetts.
Yeah, she sold to Old Sturbridge Village. So they could have just called Old Sturbridge Village.
I was going to say, it's so central.
It's pattern number 760.
And they would have pulled that pattern and dropped it in the mail.
I
know.
So nice,
I know. I love all that stuff.
I do. I love the old-timey stuff like that. That has changed so much, and not for the better.
I'm not. The technical stuff like creating PDFs and things like that. Yeah. I mean, I worked in tech for 8 years. I get it. I worked in software. I get it. Yeah. And there are things I have to know. I don't answer computer questions anymore because it's like, I don't want to remember all this stuff. I like it. I know I need it for the business and all this stuff. I mean, my website before the pandemic, when I had to shut it down because I just couldn't support it. Yeah. I did sit there. I did my own website. I know just enough to get myself in trouble. But no, I like it, but it's like a necessary evil now to be able to do this to where
it's hard. It's it's so. I have found, and I've said this before, like the people who are creative people who, for example, like rug hooking and antiques, are not the same people who like Best Buy.
Correct.
Right. So I mean, already we have a problem because it's like, when I have to go to the door of Best Buy with the intention of buying something technical for like a show or for something, I already have the mindset like, this is garbage.
They're
going to sell me garbage. Yeah, they're going to trick me. They're going to. I'm a dupe. I'm like walking through there like a willing victim. They're going to rob me. I mean, you just know they're going to sell you something you don't need.
Same thing when I take my car into the deal, to get work done.
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
I just keep changing guys because I think they're all crooks and animals, and it's whatever.
Well, I take ours to the dealer we bought it from, which my husband hates because he does most of the work, but the guys know me there. Okay. So they know that I will lose my mind.
Yeah.
You
might be back if there's a problem.
I don't like being taken advantage of.
No, I don't either.
I think I'm being taken advantage of.
It's an awful feeling.
It is.
It is. You not only like get like financially robbed,
right,
but you feel like an idiot.
Right.
It's like demoralizing. But anyway, support small businesses, right?
Yes,
That's where it's saying.
absolutely.
Support small businesses.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter whose, just do it, because we want to keep this thing going and information and shows and everything going too. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks, Carol.
Thanks for coming,
Thanks,
everybody.
Doreen.
Yeah, that was fun.
Thanks, Linda. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Kaz. We'll log off now because we both probably have work to do, but it was super nice being with you.
You too.
Fun.
We'll have to do this again.
We'll definitely do it again. We'll show some more stuff. So have a great day, everybody. I want to remind you before we log off, tomorrow is Friday, so there is not a daytime show. The show tomorrow night will be at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that will be cocktail night I will be over at Michelle McRelly's house.
So jealous. Sorry, I had to put that in there.
Oh, you have to come over and hook with her. She's wild and crazy, so be prepared for what really.
Cool.
Be prepared. But we're going to be over there looking at her rugs and hearing some of her stories. So 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As soon as I'm finished here, I will post the link to tomorrow night's episode. I will see you then. Have a great day, everybody. And then I just wait for a minute because there's like this long, bizarre delay. So Jess says she likes the technical stuff. Jen, too, who was on early, she's excellent at technical stuff. She's helped me a lot with like advice and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Oh, Wendy was on. I didn't know. I love this part because people are saying, where are you from in Washington and stuff, and they're finding each other.
That's all. Yes, I agree. That's
really
wonderful.
Nice. Now Kira's near us. Kira's in Plymouth, Mass, so she's not that far away.
Oh, no, not at all.
Yeah.